Okay, pretty much just gave an intro. The mic was off, but I think we can pass by. Wow, so many people. Didn't expect this many people. But okay, what am I saying? Compile code. Yeah, so when you have this compile process, it's written in some machine code, like assembly of some sort, machine code, which in the end is ones and zeros. We as people don't really read this very well, unless you are some genius. If you are, why not? But for us mere mortals, we need to read code in some format like C. Like C is the golden standard for code readability. Like, so I think so pretty much our goal is to go back a step and figure out how the binary works, to find flaws, to find exploits, to find some secrets that aren't really immediately available to us. And our purpose is to pretty much convert from machine code back to through assembly back to C, and get as much data as we can about the program, and to maybe do some forensics on it. And yeah, so pretty much I made this meme a while back because it's pretty original, but we want to go to understand how to decompile like a true Chad, like Ken Thompson over here. And he pretty much co-made C and Unix at Bell Labs. But so what we will do today, we need two main things. We need Ghidra, which is a decompiler. It's originally it was made by the NSA, but it's open source. It's free on GitHub. The code is available. If you are scared of the NSA, you can look of their code and find issues. Yeah, if you want, you can decompile Ghidra with Ghidra. Trusting trust. I think so. The challenges that we have prepared for you, they're pretty much written in either. I wrote a couple in C, which is so C is pretty much the most easy to decompile, like because it's pretty simple. I have one in Golang, which is way more difficult to understand, but it can be decompiled, but you have some more runtime, I guess, functions that you don't really see in the original source code. And my friend Akbar, he made challenges with Java and Rust. That I think Rust is also pretty horrible to decompile, right? Like it's yeah, like I assume that there are quite a lot of like malloc and like free. Yeah, so like also some runtime functions that you won't see in the source code. But so these are made to pretty much get you like some spectrum of scenarios where you might have to decompile code and to figure out how it works. And yeah, so I think I'll move through the slides a bit. Okay, so when you open Ghidra, you need to make a project. You don't really, I think this project will just store the metadata of the program that you are decompiling. So what you need to do is just to open open Ghidra, drag the binary. It could be an exe, it could be a Unix executable file into Ghidra, and then you can click on it, and it will reveal the decompiler. I think the decompiler is the green dragon icon. And once you do, you will see so on the main bit is that the decompiler. Oh, I think it's a bit low quality image, maybe on purpose. But the main bit is the decompiler. You pretty much you can select the function from the binary, you might start with the main function, which is the entry point to your program. And in the main function, if you like that from the left-hand side, you will have the decompiled code on the right, but it won't be one-to-one as the source code, which a human wrote. It will be something that Ghidra tried to decompile and to give some names to. So these names won't be what a human programmer would do, but they're still a good point to start with. And for a bigger program that you are decompiling, I think you can definitely find and replace names. So you can maybe make up names as you go. Like maybe if you have like some variable named some gibberish and you want to give it a name based on what you found, you can override that name in your Ghidra project and pretty much discover the program as you go along. Also, so what Ghidra doesn't show you in the decompiler is the global variables, which are variables that are defined outside of functions. And you can find them in the I think it's like in the view menu. You can get the strings, defined strings menu. Obviously, Ghidra is a massive program. You can. I'm still describing many functionalities. So if my UI doesn't look the same as yours, there's probably default might be different, but you can definitely find it in the top menu for the view menu. So I think I think probably mentioned this as well, but if you don't know how to run programs in the terminal, you just navigate to the folder where the program is with CD, and just run the command / and the binary name. And you might have to provide arguments, like let's say program X space arg1 space arg2 and so forth. And the program might expect you to push arguments. And initially you might have no idea. That's where you have to decompile the program and find out what it expects you to give it. And the program might expect you to type into the terminal when it runs. Again, you might know that initially because you've never seen this program before. That's where you have to decompile program and find out how it works. But yeah. So demo. This is where the slides end, and I have to show it to you live, but I'll wait until you get Ghidra installed. We have a section for this week on the website, and for each section you can download the binary, and the binary is pretty much most of them. I think all of them are for Linux except the Java jar file. And so what you should do is just get the file to your hard drive or your disk, put it into Ghidra, and just start to experiment. If you need any help, we're here. And yeah. And also, we have some points if you find a flag or the answer. So maybe it's a way to drive you to maybe try more things. And we have a scoreboard as well. And yeah.
Here trying to solve the dot class or the secure drive. Yeah. So if you who here plays the Minecraft Java edition, there you go. If you messed with Minecraft before, you probably know that Java is a bit weird language in that it doesn't compile to like normal native instructions, like say C or Golang or Rust or whatever. Instead, it compiles to something called the Java bytecode, and then that Java bytecode is then executed by something called a Java virtual machine or JVM. That's why if you want to play Minecraft, you probably have to install some kind of Java runtime environment. That Java runtime environment contains a JVM, which then runs the bytecode. And you've probably been trying to use Ghidra so far. And I'll be honest, the experience kind of sucked. So I wanted to show you another tool that allows you to decompile Java application better. So it's something called a bytecode. So this thing called bytecode viewer, which is a way better. It's an application that's dedicated to decompiling Java applications. So it accepts like the class files or even a complete jar, and it's bundled with multiple Java decompilers. So yeah, just something that you might be interested in solving some of the challenges.
Okay, one comment that I just realized: if you have any issues with Ghidra, could be something beyond our control. I just found I used an alternative, which might be, it's like web-based. So okay, I'll tell you what I mean. It's called dogbolt.org. They would run Ghidra for you, and you can pretty much upload the file through the browser, and you can select which decompiler to use. It might work very well for your issue, if it's for your problem to solve, if it's relevant. For some other more advanced tasks, Ghidra as a installed application would be better. So yeah, I think it's free, and during a SSTF, if you want to just get a quick scan of a decompilation, it might be a very good option. Okay, just a question. Can I get a show of hands? Who in here got to the challenge named 2 more steps are needed? How many of you? Okay, that's good. You might have not found it. When you put it into Ghidra, you might have not found anything. That's maybe a bug in Ghidra that we found last year. I don't know if the NSA can fix this for me, but this is where we need to pivot away from Ghidra and try some other options that are more simple. So I should point you to who in here knows the command in Unix called strings? Anybody? Oh yeah, you have a question? Yeah, you have a question or? Oh yeah, yeah, nice, yeah, all good. Okay, I think I'll give you a hint. There's this command called strings in Unix. I think it's built into every Unix-based OS, but you should read about what it does and maybe try to use that on the binary that I gave you, and see if you have any odd strings pop up in the output. Okay, I think I want to give a bit of a demo, because why not? It's a demo. So most things that we showed you before is already in a video on YouTube, but you can watch if you want to learn about our approach to these problems. But this time I'll attempt to a problem that I made over the weekend. Okay, so for me, because so the challenge I want to. Okay, first let's search the challenge. This challenge I cooked. Okay, so this challenge I cooked over the weekend, it involves much more than just the variable names. It involves like the logic of the program. So you don't get many hints. You just get the binary for Linux, a prompt, and a video that is funny because I liked it. Sometimes the funny might not be. Yeah. So one is that you just as usual get the binary called ring. I don't know why. I just found a name for it, and I would just run Ghidra for now. For me, it's a bit scuzzy because Ghidra is the way they do it for Mac is a bit weird. But should probably make a new project. Let's do it. New project. Put it on the.
I didn't know you can just drag the binaries without selecting the project. I've been doing Ghidra all this time.
Yeah. So I go to my folder. By the way, you might see my code, but I won't show it to you yet. If you want to see the code I wrote for this, ask me in private. So here's the binary. So tagging along. Okay. So this program, let's try to run it on. So I have a separate terminal for Kali, and I licked the flag. Very funny. Bozo. Okay. Anyway, spoiler alert. I licked the flag for a second. So we have the binary. Let's run it. I don't know what we're doing. Fair enough. So at this point, let's ask Ghidra about what this thing is. Analyze. So we have the, okay, it's doing some work. Okay, so here is the main function. So first of all, so you see that we run 3 functions that check for each argument. So we expect 3 arguments, possibly. And so each function returns, it seems like either true or false, just because of the 1, like it checks if it's true. So, by the way, no human would write this code because it's too weird. My code that I wrote is way different, but we get some clues as they go, right? Like we try to get some clues. So first step is to maybe look at this function, argument count. So that would be here. So we pretty much just we check if is equal to 4, this input, and that input would be param1 is the first parameter of the main function, which in most cases would be argc in C, the argument count. So we definitely know for sure that we need 4 arguments. So 4 from the, so first would be the name of the program. So 3 additional arguments. That's why I named it first, second, and third. So let's look at the first argument function. It will check the first argument. So we pretty much, and the input to that input we pass is a second parameter, which is the list of arguments, argv in C. So first argument, I think. So we have some, I mean, from the name, we can assume that we pretty much get the first argument out. And we pretty much, okay, that's interesting how Ghidra decompiled this. I think I wrote it in a different way, but you can, what is it?
You don't have to solve that because,
yeah, I mean, so I think the main idea is to try to figure out what it's doing, what it's checking. So it gets the first argument from argv, and okay, I think because I wrote the code, I know that this is a weird way to say that it's an even number. So the first argument has to be an even number. However, I would encourage you to, if you have no idea what it's doing, because this is a compiler speak, like if you wrote variable modulo 2 equals 0, it would get decompiled back to this mambo jumbo. So you should maybe do some trial and error and compare what you think is the human version against the compiler version. And this can be done by just making your own program and copying this syntax and do your own variables and checking your hypothesis. So we know that the first argument has to be an even number, probably decimal, I would say, which I think, yeah. So you use ATOI. Does anybody know what is ATOI mean? Like it's a function from stdlib, I believe. It's a function in C. If not, I'll just tell you. So ATOI is the function in the standard library to convert from ASCII to integer. So from string to a whole number, pretty much. So, and the default is a decimal interpretation. So we know that the first argument has to be a decimal number. Now the second argument, we pretty much pass the second argument, and so you will see that if you don't know C a lot, that's fine, but you will see a bunch of names of functions that you don't know, because if you don't know C, so you should definitely, as you go, try to research about C, try to find out, to learn as you go, because you have I think for me, if I have a task that I need to complete, I will learn stuff I need to do as I go, and it's like much more fun this way. So definitely look up resources, but strlen is the function in C to find the string of the length of a string, pretty much. So, oh yeah, you found my video. Very nice. So pretty much we have a for loop. We are iterating over the length of the string, and we check if the string has the letter B. If so, we add a count for how many B's we see, and the number of times we see B has to be, I think it has to be with a remainder of 1. So I think it's like not, you know what? I think you know what? I think for our purposes, we want to learn, right? I'll just print the source code. So that would be right here. So this is what I wrote, and looks a bit different. So here is the second argument, which returns a Boolean, and we check if count is not 1 and if count is even. Yeah, so I think if you find that you don't know what the decompiler is trying to tell you, you can always use dogbolt, I said before, and compare different other decompilers. But it's probably better to use any decompiler over reading machine code. It's easier because we can find that we have a for loop, we have the condition, we have 2 conditions, so it's much more readable. So from this, I can understand that the second argument has to have the letter B, and even amount of times more than 0. And this third argument, you pretty much, it has to be, okay, I think I know what I wrote here, and the decompiler is a bit, yeah, okay. Even for me, the decompiler is a bit unhinged sometimes. So let's try to figure it out. Okay, so I think let's compare what I wrote before. So pretty much, pretty obvious, but I think you might have to check the defined string list, the big table of strings for that, because I compare the first parameter and another variable, which is, I mean, okay, so here pretty much intended to be a password that you have to enter, and I check if it's equal. That's it. But apparently the decompiler is a bit unhinged sometimes. Like it can be hard. Like it's really, I don't think it's easy, but it's fun.
And this is in C.
Yeah, it's in C.
It's not like Go or Swift or whatever.
Yeah. So pretty much, it's just So pretty much, if you manage to find all of these logic parts of each argument, you just give it what you want and give your flag back. And if you wonder where is this flag defined, because it has to be on the binary somehow, right? So let's look at the main function. So the main function, I don't see any variables here. Let's try to define strings. And don't see anything here. Like some very usual compiler stuff. You try to look at defined data, but nothing I can see still here. So if you wonder like how I define this flag, right? Because the flag is here, I print the flag if you pass all of the conditions. So the flag is actually an array of numbers that it's very much ASCII, but it's an array. So that's why I think Ghidra can show it to you, but it would be more somewhere in the UI of Ghidra. But I think today the point was to make you try to decompile code and to figure out how it works. It's not really, it's all not very exhaustive, but the point is to inspire you beyond what we do here. Do it more at home on your free time after you finish your assignments, perhaps. And maybe just try to decompile code and see how it goes. So I think that's all for us today. If you have any questions, just tell us and we'll try to help you. But, thank you.